against a British.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all? Hopefully we are doing fine. Oh, there's only Ray here. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting show. I might have to make it a short one. So here I am in lovely Hamburg, Germany. I don't know if you want to call it lovely. It's been raining here on and off, but hang on. I can see some clear skies. It might come up good tomorrow. G'day, Anthony Dodge. About time.
Hi, everybody who's right now, according to my screen, says one person's here besides you and me, which is Ray. Hi, Ray.
G'day, Ray. How are you, bud? Oh, we just got another couple of two. That's
about 35 miles northeast of you.
Yeah, hang on, let me have a look.
We also have rain going right now.
Oh, that's where those clouds are. Right, okay, I got it. Yep, because it's clear above me here right now. Hello to the other two people that just popped in. Oh, we've got Valley. How are you? I do apologise to the others that may be streaming at this time. I have done this for one main particular reason. I will be going back to my cousin's place later and streaming there in the middle of the night. It will not be, well, they don't mind it, but I don't like waking other people up in the middle of the night, if everybody can understand that. So what ended up happening, I went to do a bit of train spotting and, well, waiting for this guy. And we decided, there was a big model train show, not train show, model train shop nearby. So we took a train. Man.
Train to a train shop. How appropriate.
Yeah. So sadly, I ended up spending a little money.
Just a little.
So in the first few things,
we're broadcasting here.
Don't tell my wife, will you? Oh, she's a cutie. So when I walked into the shop, some of the things I did pick up on straight away is a company that I used to work for and contract for back in Australia called ASG, and they had a whole heap of these ASG trucks. It's a Swedish freight forwarding company. They used to deal mainly with air freight and also sea freight, but they use these trucks to go around, and that's an old Scania. So when I picked that up, another guy comes up and goes, "Hey, there's another one, an old G88 Volvo, which was another one we had in the Sydney fleet. And with a smaller model to this is what I actually had to go and do my driving test on to get my truck license."
Yeah.
Now,
And that gentleman, once he saw that you liked these trucks, he kept bringing others up.
oh yeah, and then he brought me this
No,
one.
don't want that one.
Yeah, I brought
Yeah, he
this one
brought you up
around as
that
well.
one. And then he
And
kept
then
bringing
he,
more. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
yeah, he brought me bonneted one. I think it was a Deutsch one or an old Scania bonneted one, but
Yeah.
it was nice. Don't get me wrong. I did like it, but we didn't have them in Australia, not those models. So I had to draw a rim. And then comes well, Anthony knows about this. I've been looking for a railjet, Roco railjet in the railjet color scheme. Unfortunately, I wasn't, or we weren't able to find one yet. Um, Not in the Roco model.
A little too north. We're a little too north. Up here, they're not as interested in the rail jets. They don't come this far north.
But who knows? I might end up finding something in Austria. But I did manage.
In Austria.
You might be able to see it. I've got this little baby.
But you found a very nice. Yeah, you should enlarge.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me get myself bigger.
There you go.
There we go. I'm not going to take it out of the box, but it's a Reiko's 60th anniversary Taurus.
Yeah, bring it down
I
just a bit.
was eyeing it. Yeah, let me see if I get this little tape out. But you guys will see when I get home. You guys will see when I get home. So that's a new addition to my fleet because what's waiting for me at home is another set of railjet cars that have arrived just before I left. So I've actually got 2 Roco railjet cars. I tell you what, I'm not going shopping, going to a train shop with you anymore, Anthony, because after just had a look around after that engine.
I did not put a gun to your head and say you had to buy anything. I said, would you like to go see a nice German train shop? Because I don't think you had been to one yet.
Yeah.
And you said, sure, why not? I said, okay, it's an 8-minute subway ride from here. Do you want to go? And you said, okay, why not? Once you walked in that door, I am not to be blamed. It is not my fault for what you did in that store.
I mean, come on, buddy. You must have known. You must have known. So at the end of the day, what ended up happening was...
I was hoping we would find an OBB railjet locomotive for you. Anything else you bought, that's on you, not me. I take no responsibility.
So be careful, people, when you go shopping, particularly with my good mate here. I mean, I'm not upset. Don't get me wrong. It's all part of our banter.
I don't take people to bad places.
Oh, definitely not. There was something that I've been wanting for a very long time, and it cost a fortune back home in Australia. So what I ended up getting was, what I spied was this crane set. And it's DCC as well. So I'm going to have some fun with that when I get home eventually. So I have bought myself some souvenirs to take home with me to run on my layout. Those 2 so far. I do intend to, when I get down to Frankfurt later in the week. Yeah, they are nice. Valley, it's, as I said, they cost a fortune down home, but I got this for a good price up here. But there is still a couple of units that I am looking for. So when I go down to Lipper later in next week to pick up one of my units that's been put in for warranty repairs, there's a couple of units that they have that I will complete my collection with. All right, so so here I am in Hamburg. We did end up meeting up at Hamburg Station. Joys and mobile telephones, mine's been acting up, but we managed to get it fixed up. I'm waiting at one end of the platform, and Anthony, Joyce were sitting and standing and waiting inside the station. I was on the outside of the station. I will post the videos
Platforms
later.
are that long. Yeah, the platforms are that long that there's actually 3 different accesses, and one of them is completely outside the station, which is, if you want a rail fan, it's the best place to watch the trains come in and go out.
Oh, I tell you what, Ray would love that little place. You didn't know which way to look. The trains was that consistent. So you take an eye off one, here comes another one, or 2, or 3. I mean,
yeah, something in and out, and often 2 on the same platforms at the same time.
Yeah, and who knows what's going on inside? I mean, there was still a lot more stuff going on inside the station. I even managed to get a shot of having 3 ICE trains coming in, or in the shot. I think 2 were coming in, 1 was going out. But I thought I was at the right spot because their train was stopping on that side of the platform, but they walked in. But you can't miss them. You cannot miss them. I walked in the station. I go, they're not here yet. I walked in, and here you see, can't miss Joyce in a red jacket and this big, tall tree stump standing next to her. So we ended up going to the train shop. That was the subway ride. That was an interesting train.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like the setup. It's got no, it's a straight through train. And I've got to say, that was one of the first commuter trains I saw when I arrived in Hamburg on Friday night. And yeah, got the ride on that. Then we ended up going up to Bremen and Damenhorst. I tell you what, that was an interesting train trip up. Been a big day, but I enjoyed every minute. Thank you for taking us up there, Anthony. And tell you what.
Yeah, it was. Unfortunately, this was a major travel weekend in Germany. I didn't even picture it. In Germany, this weekend is called, and the week that follows is called the Pfingstferien. Now, Pfingst is I don't know, it's not Ascension. It's so many days after the Ascension. It's a big religious holiday, and the Germans aren't religious, but their school and business corporate calendar. Everybody, the universities get the week off. The schools are either out of session or they get the week off, and everybody travels. And we just happen to be in a major international city, Hamburg, and the trains were packed. So we had to get down to Delmenhorst. We basically stood for an entire hour in whatever train trip.
Or stand, sit, whatever. We just trying to make the most of the comfort that we could on the way up. On the way back, it wasn't so bad, but I think I was getting close to.
We found seats easily on the way back.
Yeah. But it was a good train ride. But one of the trains that we didn't get in the photo, which would have been a nice one, was that Deutsche Bahn one up in Bremen, where it had the two colour schemes. It had the Deutsche Bahn red and it had the teal, green, and cream on it. Remember that one?
Yeah,
Just as
yeah. The teal, green, and teal, green, and cream, and there's also blue in it. That is Deutsche Bahn Schleswig-Holstein. It's a subsidiary of Deutsche Bahn, and it runs regional trains in the state we were in.
yeah, but it had two colours in it, and I found that quite interesting.
Oh yeah, they're very cool. I wish somebody would make a model of that particular train because it's the same thing as well. They had two different ones. They were the double deckers that you see, the Dosto as we call them.
Yeah,
Hey, CMD. They're the Dosto, the double decker wagons, but they're in that amazing color. And then the locomotive is can be a 146 or some others. Are you coming to be off camera or on camera?
One of the full set of ICEs that I got was an ICE4. Hello, Joyce. Haven't seen you in a long time.
Hi, Artie.
I actually saw an ICE4 with a low number, which was 9001 coming underneath it, and I went for a low number. I say that would have been one of the first sets that was put into service.
Right.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, you really got to weather your trains, buddy. Those trains do not look nothing like yours. I mean, they were grubby. I mean,
it's been dusty and dirty lately. Yes, they have not quite washed them.
Yeah.
But they were not, but they may have been a little dusty and dirty, Artie. They may have been a little dusty and dirty, but no graffiti on, especially the high speeds.
No, because I haven't seen any of these young ones grabbing on the outside.
Some of the older ones sitting on the siding, some of the older cars do have graffiti on them, but all the ones we rode and those types, no graffiti.
No, because there's no way for the young ones to grip on the outside when it's going 300 kilometers an hour down the track. That's why. Yeah, and it gets a bit breezy. But I did manage to see a clean ICE3 just after your train departed. It was actually coming down on the other platform. And I think that was the odd one out, and I don't even think I videotaped it, to be honest, because there was a big commotion going on to the right, to where we got off the train from Bremen. There was a big commotion going on. There was police everywhere. Someone was taken away, so I'm like, nah. Monsville, good morning, buddy. Yeah. I know it's 6:30 in the morning out in Queensland, but at least it's not 5 o'clock in the morning. You'll have to see what I bought from up here anyway. So I tell you one thing, it's my first time in Hamburg, but I love the architecture. Particularly where I am at the moment, it's filled with canals, and like right now what I'm looking at canal right out in front of my window, and yeah, it's raining, and there's two bridges here that I can see, and down to the left of me, right down the end of these buildings, there's a whole series of buildings that I'll share the photos through the week. The very last building would be about 10 minute walk to my left towards him. I can actually see Miniature Wonderland. That's how close I am to Miniature Wonderland.
Yeah, he's on the same street as Miniature Wonderland.
They're actually next street over. They're next street over.
Yeah, they're up one, but you're basically
Yeah.
well, you're on sort of a little peninsula, and they're on one side, and you're on the other. Of well, it's an island really along the canals.
Yeah.
Because since you mentioned the canals, I have to throw in my educational moment, which is Hamburg actually has more bridges and more canals than Amsterdam and Venice combined. The two
Oh.
cities most famous for being canal cities, Amsterdam and in the Netherlands and Venice in Italy. And Hamburg never gets mentioned with them, but it actually has more bridges and more canals than those two other cities combined.
Now, I was on my way to meet Anthony and Joyce at Hamburg Station, and I took the opportunity of walking up, and it's true. There's that many canals, there's that many bridges. I had to basically start it.
Speicherstadt, that's the area you're in, Artie.
Yeah, oh, right, yeah, okay.
Speicher means
Yeah.
warehouse. Speicher means warehouse. That's the old 1600s, 1700s warehouse district. The boats used to come up the canals, and you can see in the back of the buildings in some of your area, you can see where they have the old places where the water would rise, and the boats could just literally throw planks across to the
Oh, yeah.
building and unload straight into the warehouses.
You can see it, and you can see it in the photos. But on my way across to see you, I was just crisscrossing all over canals and whatnot. I had to make sure I didn't lose myself. But here at this hotel, it's got two parts of it. Like, it is where obviously I am here now. But then it goes over to the island. They actually got the restaurant over into the island. And in this hotel, they've got a whole heap of ship models that basically would have, I don't know, don't know details, but there is something about it at the Maritime Museum that's here. I don't know if I'll get to see it this trip, but I'm definitely going to be coming down here again. But they've got old photos. As I was walking to the for breakfast this morning, they were showing like this building itself, what must have been like a quarantine station, checking out coffee seeds and flour moisture and not flour moisture, wheat moisture, grain content. Shit balls, you had them too. But yeah, there's, I've got to say, it's an interesting place to explore, and I should have left myself a bit more time here to explore it a bit more. But my next stop is going to be to the south in Frankfurt. I am going to be exploring that, but I will come back here. Now, I do see what resembles the old railway bridges just to the end of this hotel. So there must have been a link of trains going across in between these warehouses somewhere along the line. I'm not going to model it, but it'd be very interesting to find out what used to be here. It's almost another version of Darling Harbour in Sydney. Now, talking about Miniature Wonderland tomorrow night, I've actually been given a parcel to take up to Miniature Wonderland, and I don't know whether they're going to show it or not, but it's been presented as a gift and whatnot by Sydney Motor Railway, not Sydney Motor, Gashil Hobbies in Sydney. No, I am not getting paid for it, not being sponsored. But they like to.
And if they will accept it.
Pardon?
I don't know where you would go to give it.
No,
but it doesn't hurt to ask. And this thing just started rolling downhill. I moved one of the wheels and well, it shouldn't roll downhill. The lock is not working.
The brakes are not working.
Yeah, well, this floor is so slanted, so if I let this go, woo, it just starts rolling down the hill. You got to set these wheels at a certain space, and I think unfortunately all four of them need to be pushed to a certain.
So what I've been given to bring up to him is the Z12 class. Now you would have seen this at the museum, Anthony. Tell me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's I don't know if I'm not going to take it out. I'm not going to take it out, but it's in the darker version of the apple green. But if you guys let me just enlarge that. The picture will actually show you what kind of train there is. That was actually an official express passenger train, and down to 3
Well, we're on
on
early. It is Saturday, and there is at least one of the live stream on right now, which would be
yeah,
taking away a lot of our UK friends.
but it's all right. People, there'll be people that'll watch. They'll watch the repeats. So that's one unit there. I'll pack that up in a minute. And he's also giving me a set of his. Don't know how well you'll see it. A full set of our car passenger cars. The full set that will go with those with that steam engine. So I'm hoping to present that over to them tomorrow when we get down there. Whether they take it or not, that's another story. Might be a bribe to get in the back show, but no. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going into Wonderland there. And seeing it with my own eyes. I mean, g'day, Tom. How are you, buddy?
Hey, couples.
It's one thing seeing it on videos compared to seeing it with your own eyes. You just do not get that atmosphere. You just don't get that feel of the enormity of that place. I mean, I can see from up here, and it's big. And we all know what NT warehouses look like. That they are even bigger on the inside. But when you can end up putting these little buggers and the trains next to it, it makes the place look even huge, or makes it huge anyway. So that's what I am actually going to be looking forward to. Now there is one part. It is big.
It's big. Oh, it's big.
So what are you trying to say? Day is not enough?
Like I said, you can walk through the entire place in about 2.5 hours and see all the main sections. Or you can spend a week inside of it and you still will miss something. There's just so much. It's layers upon layers upon layers of detail.
I don't know how my feet are going to handle it.
And I know I have friends and online people I know that are in Germany that they go there once a month and today I'm spending 3 hours in Scandinavia. And that's it. They're just going to go to one section, one room.
Well, if I was living up here, I'll most probably end up doing the same thing, just to explore.
If I lived nearby, I would be visiting it at easily once a month. If I lived where I could get to it by train in 2 hours or less, oh hell yeah, I would be once a month. Honey, it's Miniature Wonderland weekend. See you on Sunday,
Yeah. Now, on my way over to here, I actually flew out from Serbia, and of course, it's not a big secret, but I will be going exploring through the Alpine areas of Austria. G'day, Eric. How are you, buddy?
Howdy,
Yeah,
Eric.
I'm doing my
We're doing fine. The
vacation.
weather hasn't been friendly, but we're doing fine.
You're not wrong about not being friendly. With me, where I've been, it's been stinking hot. I mean, in Fahrenheit, I would say be in the high 90s, low hundreds. But when I come up over here, it's wet and it's cold. It feels like I'm in Sydney. Um, like as I was saying to Joyce today, coming into Hamburg, this will be interesting for you, Michael, if you haven't been in here. If you ever catch a taxi from the airport down to where I am, the first part it feels like you're driving through the old Canberra suburbs, the northern suburbs. And then
Hi, Andy.
g'day Andy, how are you, buddy? And then as we drive a bit further down, you start feeling like you're in the Bronx, up at, well, not quite the Bronx, but within that region in New York. But as I got closer to here, I felt like I was crossed between Brisbane and Sydney. So there's a lot of variety. I just hope this weather clears up for tomorrow because I know we'd be doing a lot of walking again. I hate to be walking in that rain. It makes your shoes wet and it gets the socks wet and the feet are already saying, no more walking. But on my way here to Hamburg from Serbia, I flew over the Alps. I think I'll have to book another holiday for next year to go see what I missed this year. So it's a bloody big area.
Yeah, you got all kinds of Alps. The tallest part is the French Alps going into the Swiss Alps, but they go all the way into Croatia.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah, I
Uh,
still would like to get down into the middle of the Alps, get into the middle of Switzerland, and get over to Liechtenstein someday.
Liechtenstein. Okay. All right. I don't know.
Liechtenstein's a tiny little country.
Yeah, I would like to. I've got to still pick up the routes that I'm going to take. What? You setting all the bad weather down in Sydney, buddy? I'm not in Sydney at the moment. Okay. Um, so you're wasting your time, and I did cut my lawn before I went. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to. There are about at least 3, 4 trips I'm going to be doing while I'm down in Austria. I'm going to base myself in Innsbruck. When I do get down there, who knows where? I'm just going to.
Salzburg, so you can Salzburg and Linz, where you can hike the mountains and not even leave the city.
That sounds interesting. But you know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happens
When
when
Joyce and I stayed in Salzburg a couple of years ago, you got one mountain right in the middle of the city that's got a castle on top, the Salzburg Fortress, and then there's another mountain that starts inside the city and goes out, and you can go up there and hike. So Salzburg's beautiful, man. Salzburg is
But if
beautiful.
I go to Salzburg, I'm definitely not going to be singing the songs of sounds of music. I'm telling you that now.
The hills are alive. And from Salzburg, you're a short train ride over to the German side, Berchtesgaden, that is sadly most famous for Hitler's famous Alpine villa he had,
Yeah, yeah,
the Eagle's Nest up there.
yeah.
But it's amazing country. Joyce and I wound up going to Berchtesgaden, the town, but then we, instead of going up to the Eagles Eyrie, we hiked and we hiked from Berchtesgaden to this beautiful alpine lake called Königssee, and the town of Königssee. That's a wonderful view and hike that is, like half an hour to an hour outside of Salzburg.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand it's hot there at the moment. There was hardly any. There's a few trickles of snow on the mountains when I went over it. When we flew away, there was very little snow on the beach. There was hardly any to be, in fact. But
CMD says it's hot.
within that area, I mean, they've been getting heat waves. In some parts, they do need rain, but they don't want rain where I've been hanging around in, because they got a good wheat crop. Some got damaged during the windstorms they had, but it's so close to ready to be harvested. In Frankfurt, I don't know what I'm going to look at. I'm just going to get on a bus or a train and see where it takes me. There's no set plan for that one. I'm there for approximately 4 or 5 days, and I'll go from there to Munich. Only spending a night in Munich, and after that, I've got to go back to Serbia, back to my granddad's hometown. Sadly, the old house has got to come down. Now, yes, I did start my trip there, only to get all the okay. I will do that CMD, but we'll see how we go, because I have to go back to Serbia at the moment. I've got to go back to Novi Beach. This week, before I got to Hamburg, I had to sort out demolition permits, and I just had to work out what's what. And with the property, particular difficulty was because of my mum's not well, and there was no documentation that they're going to help me sign. I had a hard time trying to get everything arranged, but it's done now. So once the house gets knocked down on 16th, 17th, I've got to put a fence up. But I'm going to go do a bit more cruising around. Get some more train shots while I'm down there. Sadly, Monsville, no, I can't. There's nothing I can save out of it. It's been pillaged, it's been raped, it's been cleaned out on the inside. We have had people that have been squatting in there until the front gave out. I can't walk on the actual property because it's that overgrown. One of the neighbours 2 doors down, he did end up going in there, so I'm going to have to find out what he has actually retrieved. But once I knock down the house, the sad part of it is once the house is knocked down, then the state of Serbia or the country of Serbia takes possession of the property, because it's been left too far abandoned, and the family members that needed to deal with that matter did not do nothing. So we've lost that land, which is it's a little bit of a shame. But after that, I will be doing some more exploring. I will be taking some more train shots. We've got the high-speed train at Novi Sad, which is not far from there. They are working on a rail link between Belgrade and Budapest, a high-speed line. It's half completed. The other half is not that far from completion. They're still doing the tunnel for it. I did put a video up on Novi Beach this week, and as you can see, the platforms are very, very, what's the word?
Non-existent.
Yeah. Non-existent. I believe
Ground
that's going to be,
level.
yeah. I guess that's going to be very easy to model, don't you think, Anthony?
Yeah, that would be very difficult to get the scale right on that one.
You reckon? Yeah, particularly with mine.
Yeah, absolutely tough.
Mine's still too far away with it. I don't even have any ballast or gravel yet. Um, I
Said you
don't
didn't
even.
want to be on camera.
My hand's different.
Oh, you want your hands? Oh, now you're a hand model. Yes.
I have beautiful hands.
Yes, mine's right. That's pretty much it. It's more of a headache than an asset. The worst part of it is the building. I don't know if I've got a photo. Let me have a look. Because the state of the house and it's been located on,
Inherited a pain in the asset.
yeah, because it's located on the street. Yeah, I'll bring it up. Because it's located on the street.
Hi, everybody.
If it actually falls on somebody, we are liable for it. And the way things are, it's all going to end up on me. So let me just share the photo.
Hi, Eric and family.
Hi, Eric. No, that's not what I wanted.
We were thinking a lot of Willie the last couple of days,
It's true.
Eric, because we keep hearing Vorsicht bei der Abfahrt.
Yeah.
Vorsicht bei der Abfahrt. Vorsicht bei der Abfahrt.
As you can see there in the picture, it's way too far gone. But there is something interesting that I found out about the house. Let's see if I can zoom in into the roof there. You can see, I don't know how well, I know some of you guys will be watching it on the phone. But up and on these rafters up in here, there's actually, g'day, one Danza Bun, or Willie. Eric and Willie.
Eisenbahn.
Oh, Eric, yeah. There's actually spikes against the crossbearers there. And what they use that for is to dry stuff like wheat and not so much wheat. Wheat and tea and what was the other thing? Sheep hides. After they get to once they've actually dried out in the sun, they bring them and actually hang them up here to aerate them, and then they use them as jackets. But you get a good view of the roof, or the attic was not a wasted space. I know where that box is. Granddad used to have a pigeon coop up there, and they weren't your ordinary flying pigeons. They were those pigeons that are about the size of your chickens almost. But as you can see, it has to come down, unfortunately. It's sad, but it just cannot be saved. But once I end up knocking it down, it does belong to the state, basically. But I fulfill my promise. I clean all that up for the neighbour, put a 8-foot fence so wild dogs don't climb over it. Wild dogs are rampant in this area. And with her having that next door neighbour having a 2-year-old child, that's just going to be a bit too much. And I don't want the house falling on. So once that's done, I've got freedom. Once I knock that down, I've got my freedom to travel. I will be going into Bosnia. I am going to go and try to... I'm going into Bosnia after Serbia, after my granddad's town. And I'm going to try to find those working 52 class steam engines that were actually okay. Mine's well, I made a bit of a promise to the neighbour, and they are not there. They are actually living in Germany, living and working in Germany. And I said to her, look, I'll get the house knocked down and make it safe. They've been very nice to me, and by what's happened, by how bad they've been done by my brother and my parents, at least someone in the family got some sort of decency and give them some sort of safety and security. Granddad had a good name and reputation for himself in that town, and they've actually run it down to the ground. G'day, Mark, West Junction. How are you? No, they are going to get the bill for it, but at the moment I'm financing it. But it's not expensive. It's not as expensive. The demolition isn't expensive as it is at home in Australia. So thank God for that. It's just gonna mean I can't buy too many trains for a little bit. But yeah, I made a promise that I would try to do my best to make it safe for them. I mean, they are young people, and I believe we are somehow related, but I do want to sort of like repair my grandfather's name, because it's just gone downhill, and it's been going downhill for the last 15 years. But yeah, I'm going into Bosnia. I am going to go down and try to find the 52 class steam engines. They had two 10s, two 12s, 12Os, two 10Os, I think they are. That were built during World War II for Germany. That were used, and they were meant to be scrapped. But they have actually been deployed all around, or been acquired by other countries where they were struggling, and Germany obviously did a bit of damage. But former Yugoslavian railways actually acquired some of these steam engines. And they were, as far as I know, they were still running last year. And I would like to get a shot of them. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the number of the steam train that I was on when I was a 10-year-old kid. If I could, I would see if that was still around, existing. They are huge. They are very, very huge. But then again, I was a 10-year-old kid when I was next to them. But for around here, they were very big and long and powerful.
Yep, 2 10-0s.
I am sort of like on a vacation, but I had to also do that as well. But once that is done, I mean, I've got my cousin that's in that town. He's been great help. And once that's done, I can have vacation. I am taking a vacation after that. But in the meantime, it was been interesting just exploring the town, and then finding a bit more of the history of the town as well, and how big the actual province was. Okay, Eric, you too, buddy. You take care. Have a good weekend, and
Bye, Derek.
I'll try to get some more videos up this week. And after Bosnia, I'm going to Rijeka. So that's what you guys are into Croatia. So that's what you guys will be expecting. What? Well, I can't tell you what until it gets posted, I suppose, eh? But there is a lot of history in Grandad's area. I would look. I do want to do a bit more research and eventually post all that stuff up. Because the history in that town goes back way before it was first mentioned, or not founded, but mentioned in 1091. It's okay. Ray, say good day to your mum. Good day, Tammy. But yeah, I am really enjoying it. I've had a great time, as I said today. I had a great time out. Oh, shut up, feet. We've got to keep the walking. We've got more to do. My feet are complaining. So
we walked them too hard.
I don't know, between you and my cousin, I swear you've been talking to my relatives. You've been talking to my relatives, haven't you?
No, I just
must have
naturally
been.
walk fast. But
Yeah.
the thing is, my feet hurt too because the cobblestones, all the streets, all the sidewalks are cobblestone, and it just hurts. I've got some high quality shoes for walking, and it doesn't matter. It just goes through the sole of those shoes into my heels and up my spine. It's very nice when you can find some smooth sidewalk or street to walk on.
My fishes. Yeah, probably. Those are the socks that I left behind there for you, Monsoor. I didn't do the laundry before I left, buddy. Yeah.
Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision. Oh God. Oh God.
Hey, right now the only reason I'm wearing pants is because this camera angle was from below the waist up. Joyce and we're trying to get packing here. Why aren't you packing? You could be done by now. Chop chop. Get to it.
Okay, what am I drinking? I actually found a nice little drink now. It's Fritz Spritz. It's a apple cider drink, and I tell you what, it's pretty nice. It's not alcoholic, thank God, but I'm actually enjoying it. It's something that we don't have at home.
Fritz is a German cola company that's only a few years old, but it's really growing around Germany. And and I can't swear it's German. It might be Austrian or Swiss, but definitely it's in the German area. And for a few years, it's really been growing. And I have yet to have it, but there's some people that say they prefer it over Pepsi or Coke.
Well, it says here on the label. It says here. Oh, I've got the reading glasses on.
But you've got the Fritz Spritz was the carbonated apple version, probably.
It says independent and awake since 2003. Awake.
Okay, so it's been 20 years. I know since we started traveling to Germany, it started 2003 very locally, but yeah, by about 2015, I think we were starting to see it in Delman or hear about it in our travels.
And they do organic juices. There you go. But yeah, it was just something different from cola and lemonade and beer and Parlinka and more beer and more Parlinka and more Coke and Pepsi with lemon and.
Well, we could have ordered you a Fritz at the restaurant today. I just happened to choose a beer, and you chose a beer.
G'day, Andy. How are you? I tell you what, that beer was fantastic. I actually enjoyed it.
Was that your first Weiss beer?
I would say I'm going to say yes. It was,
Okay.
but I actually, excuse me, for a person
I
that
like
doesn't
Coca-Cola.
for somebody that doesn't normally drink beer, I enjoyed it.
Right. I do like good white beers. Now, Francis Connor is one you probably could go to a liquor store in Australia because I can buy it in Toledo back home. It's well known, but I can't swear that it's brewed in the same place because so many German beers you buy in America now are brewed at American breweries and they do not taste the same.
I did notice a difference in some of the beers back in Oibeche.
That was Francis Connor Weiss beer, and that was very good today, from my opinion.
Well, some of the beers that we did have there are from this from this part of the world, and they tasted good. But the ones that they were made within that region, yeah, no. Yeah, no, I didn't really enjoy it because it goes back to the water, and I tell you what, the water's just got that bitter, sour taste to it. It's drinkable, but you don't want to drink it every day, so to speak.
Right.
Bottled water's better. But hey, it is what it is and whatnot. So tomorrow we going to run amok on this side of the world, Anthony.
Today was just a taste. It really was about taste today. Swiss veal and a good white beer.
I haven't even had dessert yet.
Yes, but it gets mispronounced white beer because Weiss beer. Although you will get some companies that still call it Weizen beer, Weizen beer, or Hefeweizen.
Bugger. The restaurant's closed. Damn it. Didn't get dessert. Ooh,
oh, no.
She looks good for dessert.
Yeah, it is Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And many restaurants. Montag ist Ruhetag.
Yeah. I've got to say, nighttime around here is pretty quiet. So
everybody knows that museums are closed on Monday.
Well, I don't know what's going on down at the station because remember when you left, I said I was going to go in and get myself a bus ticket. There's cops everywhere. I mean, a good squad of cops over there. Had a disaster last night. Got up in the night.
Oh no, Chris! Oh, Chris, dude. Had a disaster last night. Got up in the night to answer a call of nature. The kind of call of nature you can't put on hold.
Yeah.
And wandering around in the dark, got a bit discombobulated and sat down on a chair to get my bearings. Unfortunately, it was the chair he had just put his new turntable base on.
Oh no.
And squashed it.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh, Chris, I am so sorry.
Oh, you poor bugger. Which one was it, Chris? Was it the Walters one or the French says le crunch? Yep, le crunch.
No, the French say la merde.
Yeah. Oh, you poor bugger. Oh no, and they're not cheap either. But then again, if it is a Walters one, you might be able to. If it's a Walters one, Chris, just go and reach out to Walters. Maybe they'll be able to give you a replacement part. But yeah,
this is how it arrived in the post.
Right. A little white lie.
Little white lie.
Yeah,
That's a big frigate sail white lie.
Well, now the elephant sat on the truck, didn't it? There we go. An elephant sat on the truck. There you go. Oh, it's a
Elephant with an
hellion.
attitude.
Oh, it's a hellion. Actually, depending how old it is, yeah, go and talk to them. Tell them that if it's not cracked, just tell them it's been warped. Because I know hellions crane. I don't know if anyone's seen those hellion container cranes that they had. Those.
Yeah, whatever you do, just don't buy a Trix crane.
Oh, that's all right then, Chris. Yeah, just don't buy a Trix one, buddy. They cost too much. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to try to get some more videos up this week. Yeah, you are very lucky.
Yeah, that's true, Chris. You're lucky.
Yeah, you might be talking around in a high-pitched voice. Yeah.
What happened to him? Right on the turntable.
Oh, sorry, buddy. Yeah, I was going to go back into town, but there was just way too many cops, and there was too many loud kids, young ones hanging around. I thought, no, I'm going back to the hotel. Could have been painful. Oh yeah, particularly if it's just no, I'm not going to tell.
You're too old and out of rhythm. You don't want to go back into town in Hamburg at night.
What are you trying to say? I'm an old fart.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks. But yeah, when I see three vans of cop cars coming into town and all parking together and all having a bit of a group thing, it's like, yeah, I'm going. See,
the Reeperbahn only 3 subway stops up from where you're at.
How did you know that? No.
Because I know where it is. I have been to Hamburg many times. I know where the stuff is. I've just never been in the Reeperbahn at dark.
Okay.
That's when it really gets interesting, although it's not nearly as wild as it was in its heyday in the 60s.
No.
When it was the naughtiest street in the world.
I think every city had one of them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but the Reeperbahn was its nickname through the 50s, 60s, and 70s was the naughtiest street in the world. It's definitely came down. Because the first time I went to it, I was looking at the Beatle locations where the Beatles played in Germany, and they had a Beatles museum there, which they closed in 2010. They shut down the Beatles museum. And maybe the reason they shut it down was they couldn't get enough people to come in because next door was a S&M museum.
That would actually detour a lot of people, wouldn't it? But it's funny
Did you not? You had the Beatles in Hamburg Museum, and right next door an S&M museum.
Yeah, but I can bet you which one was the one that was more crowded. It wasn't the Beatles one.
Well, usually you had the Beatles one, people attended in daylight, and then the other several hours of the day was the S&M one.
So you went to the S&M one during the night too. Well, with saying
Beatles, why not? That makes a good story.
Yeah, with that makes a good story. What is? There's a picture here that's got.
Although I do have a picture of Joyce. I do have a picture of Joyce pole dancing on the corner of Grosse Freiheitsstrasse and the Reeperbahn. Grosse Freiheitsstrasse is the main drag with all the naughty clubs and such. Like the famous dollhouse and that. But yeah, I've got a picture of Joyce pole dancing at the corner.
So I was wondering if this is where they wrote the song "It's Been a Hard Day's Night." He's got a picture up here that's got it written on, and I'm going, oh, yeah. Like, even some of the stories I heard about Hamburg, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Hotel in Bangkok.
Did you? No, that fell down. There was too much stuff in the bed with that one, Joyce. It actually collapsed. He lost his strength. How do you know about that? How do you know about that museum, Monsville? I had to ask.
Oh, I was gonna see if I could show the pic. He thought you were. Never mind.
So anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a quits.
Hey, Randall.
G'day, Randall.
Yeah, Joyce was showing this. Somebody shared a picture. Oh, that's not going to show up. This is the view outside somebody's hotel room in Bangkok, Thailand.
That looks like the one that.
If I saw that outside my hotel, I'm moving hotels.
Yeah.
What, the wires? Well, they got
Yeah,
no
those
wire
are-
Oh
code
my
there.
God, that's a
What an emergency fire escape exit plan.
went there with a Kontiki tour.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I did drive a Kentucky tour buses in Australia. I know what goes on there, Monsieur. Wink, wink.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing worse than, yeah, well, that's another show. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a quits for now. I will be back again next weekend. I don't know. You still be in this country, this part of the world next week, Anthony?
oh yeah. We'll be broadcasting from Denmark at this time next week. I think Copenhagen.
Okay,
I think we're in Copenhagen. So we'll probably have a special guest on our live stream next week.
For when you
Maybe
go up
two.
there. 2?
Maybe two.
Okay. Oh. Who is
Sorry,
he?
UK friends.
Yeah. Well, that'll be an interesting one for you for next week. Andy is going to be on tomorrow. I can say tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to see a show, Hot Dog Andy. I'll be out and about.
I'll be down on the Landungsbrücke. But God, will everything be closed because of the holiday?
No, that's Monday.
Yeah, but this whole weekend.
I don't know.
They start the holiday Friday, and you caught the mass of it. I've been to Hamburg many times, and that's one of the busiest, if not the busiest, I've ever seen it. That was just a crush because everybody's hitting the highways, hitting the trains for Pfingstferien.
Yeah. So where would I be next weekend? Next Saturday. I should be in Frankfurt next Saturday. So I'll be to the south. And you make sure you got an escape route. And make sure you take Joyce with you. All right.
Make sure I take Joyce with me.
Yeah, well,
I don't think I ever need that reminder.
I don't think so either.
Well, you know that he would like to commandeer Joyce away from you.
Yeah, but I don't think he wants to be a eunuch. So, you rolls the dice, you takes your chances.
Yeah. So anyway, people, for now, thank you for coming up. Those who watch the repeat, I hope you enjoyed the show. Until next week.
Speaking of Bangkok.
Bangkok, yeah. We'll catch you all next week. So, auf Wiedersehen.
Cheers.
There we go. Got him off guard. Don't Virginia.
Joyce, you might as well join in. Auf Wiedersehen. Choose.
Happy train.
Bye.
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 All right, let's get back in, kid.
I think I packed about